Oftentimes, the most dangerous and costly manager problems are the ones that no one sees, including them. And yet, they affect everything, including deadlines, key communications, and the bottom line. I had a direct report years ago that had been with me for years. It seemed like they were doing everything right, but also noticed that they really weren't developing and excelling in their career. It was like they hit some kind of wall and they couldn't quite get beyond that. They were asking me time and time again for ways they could position themselves for promotion and greater growth. And I had a lot of ideas, but they didn't necessarily resonate with this person and they really didn't gain traction. Eventually, they got frustrated, they disengaged, and they quit. It was really unfortunate because they had a long tenure with the company and built a lot of trust and a lot of respect, and we're sorry to see them go. I think a lot of leaders fall into this, and that's why I created a special coaching and leadership program for organizations to roll out to their leaders. It's also one of the big reasons that my program gets recommended by leaders. You can see one here recommended by Dell Technologies and also here. Often my programs get recommended by leaders because of this, and those leaders who are bringing me in often learn new leadership strategies as well. I'm going to share with you now the 3 mistakes that your mid-level managers are likely making and no one knows. Number 1, the first big mistake is that mid-level leaders are often waiting on authority to take action. This often keeps big problems from being resolved and big opportunities from being pursued because they touch multiple departments. One Fortune 50 client of mine experienced this in a big way with stalls on a very large project during the pandemic. They didn't have someone in charge of the pandemic response because who was in charge? Well, everyone is in charge of the global pandemic response. So what we did to help them, because no, there wasn't one specific person, everyone needed to come together and find alignment and move forward in the same direction. And that's why we rolled out a cross-functional communication leadership program for them to help their leaders declare their own visions for their team and find unity among the other teams and move forward together in a specific, focused, and positive way. And this allowed them to make up time quickly on the stalled project and deliver big time. They not only noticed a big improvement on the project through the leadership program, they also noticed a swift increase in financial results. The next mistake that mid-level managers are making is that they're not focused on developing the success habits of their team. In fact, most mid-level managers I meet aren't familiar with the habits at all of their team, and they're not focused on developing the success habits for themselves. Without this insight to the operating system of their team, they're not able to really help propel them forward in a positive way. A great metaphor for this, even though your car may seem reliable, occasionally you need to check under the hood and take that car to get serviced, or else it will eventually break down and you're going to be seriously inconvenienced. And the problem could even be more expensive to resolve. So in other words, the habits are like the engine of your team. The hours they work, how they're working, how they get organized, how they approach their workday and prioritize. These are all key success habits that are invisible to most mid-level managers. And if your mid-level managers are making this mistake and they're not focused on this, then there's little doubt that there's going to be bigger problems down the road. One of the key habits that we always address in my leadership and coaching programs is the habit of self-reflection. Robert Quinn, University of Michigan professor, said, if leaders aren't reflective, they have 1 year of experience just repeated 20 times. In other words, are they making the same mistake over and over and over? If you're not reflecting, you're not learning effectively from your workday. A research study showed how effective reflection can actually be to increasing employees' productivity and success. They had 2 different groups in a call center, one that continued to work their normal workday and the other stopped work 15 minutes early each day to just reflect upon what went well and what didn't and what they'd like to do differently tomorrow. They noticed an immediate pop in productivity for those that took those few minutes to actually reflect at the end of the day. This helps your managers learn from their mistakes and learn from their wins and helps them build upon that success. So they just don't have 1 year of experience repeated 20 times. That year of experience compounds over time and they grow as a leader. I work this into every training program that I lead as a success habit for the learners. They not only reflect on what they're learning in the training, they're reflecting on their own work experiences, and allows them to drive self-improvement over the long haul. The next mid-level manager mistake is truly a classic because it's relying on something that trips managers up time and time again. In fact, I have executive clients who even still rely upon this phrase, which is because I said so. Now, if you're a parent, you probably recognize this often doesn't go over well with your kids as they get older, because I'm your parent, and because I said so, you need to go to bed by 9 o'clock. Over time, they're going to negotiate out of that because it just doesn't seem to resonate over the long haul. Many mid-level leaders, they've been given authority and they try to get their employees going time and time again with, because I'm a leader, this is what you need to do. But they miss a golden opportunity, which is to give them the benefit for them for following your leadership direction and vision over the long haul. This is called selling your vision to your team and to others outside the organization. Yes, it may be effective with those on your team for a while, but try leading with because I said so to those people who don't report to you. And if you try that, you probably notice over the long haul that eventually following becomes voluntary. That's right. Even for your own team, they're not always going to follow you just because you said to do it. You can rely on the art of persuasion and influence. And a key way to do this is to explain the benefits to them. For example, if they follow the vision that you're creating to grow your sales team or to create a new process, what are they going to learn from it? How are they going to be a part of that? How is it going to help their career over the long haul? If you can attach your vision to how it benefits them, notice how much more effectively the results that you're striving for come to fruition because you've got more people aligned to it. Another way to do this is to explain the bigger picture. Why does their work matter? Explain how it impacts the bottom line. So many times when we lead training, we encourage the managers to trace it back down to earnings and EBITDA so they can explain it to their team. So when you hear an earnings call, if you work for a public company, or even if they're in a town hall meeting that's being led by the president or the COO in your company, they're able to understand how they contribute. Giving them that level of meaning can also help boost your results. Now, for your next step, consider this. The way you solve these big mistakes could be done in your one-on-one meetings where you're addressing them as they come up. However, there's a far more effective way to do this. It's to design an effective coaching and leadership curriculum to help you develop your talent in a way that's effective and efficient and drives bottom line results. And to help you in this, I will help you create and tailor a leadership training curriculum to get results for your team. And not only to get results, but to get them quickly and effectively with a program that you can roll out in an expedited fashion. All you need to do to get that is to set up a quick consultation with me at the link below. We'll get on, we'll talk about your greatest leadership challenges for your mid-level managers, design the program, and you'll walk away with that drafted curriculum. Even if you don't use us for the training, you'll at least walk away with something that you can use to start to conceptualize this for your company and start to make progress. I look forward to meeting with you soon.